Imagine a woman standing in a shed in Paris at the turn of the 20th century. The shed was once a medical dissecting room. It is damp, drafty, and smells of harsh chemicals. The roof leaks when it rains, and the summer heat is suffocating. This woman is not a laborer. She is a scientist with 2 degrees. Yet she is spending her days stirring a giant iron cauldron with an iron rod as heavy as herself. For 4 long years, she will process 8 tons of brown, dusty ore called pitchblende. Her hands are burned, her body is exhausted, and she is working in total silence. This woman was Marie Curie. Today, we remember her as the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, and the only person to win it in 2 different sciences. But the true story of Marie Curie is not about the prizes. It is about the obsession that fueled her soul. It is a story of relentless focus and the mastery that comes when you decide that your purpose is more important than your comfort. Her life is a blueprint for anyone who feels distracted, scattered, or lost in a world of superficial noise. Marie's journey began in occupied Poland, where women were forbidden from higher education. She worked for years as a governess to save money, studying by candlelight at night. When she finally reached Paris, she lived in a tiny attic, surviving on bread and tea, often fainting from hunger. Most people would have called this suffering, but Marie called it freedom. She realized that control over one's life begins with the ability to say no to the unnecessary. She chose simplicity so she could protect her inner citadel of thought. She didn't seek a comfortable life. She sought a meaningful one. The 4 years she spent in that leaky shed were the hardest and happiest of her life. Why? Because she was practicing presence while she was stirring that heavy cauldron. She wasn't thinking about fame or wealth. She was listening to the secrets of the universe. She understood that mastery requires a level of discipline that looks like madness to the outside world. She was refining 8 tons of ore just to find a decigram of a new element, radium. She taught us that resilience is the ability to stay focused on the process, even when the result is invisible. In 1906, her life was shattered. Her husband and partner, Pierre, was killed in a tragic street accident. The world expected her to collapse, to retreat into her grief. But Marie Curie did something extraordinary. She turned her work into a sanctuary. Just days after the funeral, she returned to the laboratory. She wasn't being cold, she was practicing stoicism. She knew that healing is found in industry. By focusing on her research, she managed to transform her personal despair into a legacy for humanity. She proved that when we have a why, we can endure anyhow. Marie Curie's obsession eventually cost her her health. She died from the very radiation she spent her life studying. But she never regretted her focus. She understood that a life lived with intent is worth more than a century lived in distraction. She refused to be a victim of her circumstances, not her poverty, not her gender, and not her grief. She was the absolute sovereign of her own mind. She once said, "Life is not easy for any of us. But what of that? We must have perseverance and above all confidence in ourselves." In our modern world, we are the most distracted generation in history. We are constantly pulled away from our purpose by notifications, comparisons, and the search for instant gratification. We feel anxious because we have so many unfinished cauldrons in our lives. We want the Nobel Prize without the 4 years in the shed. But Marie Curie reminds us that tranquility and mastery are only found through deep work. They are found when we choose one thing and give it our entire soul. To find your own control today, you must identify your own pitchblende. What is that difficult, heavy task in your life that you have been avoiding? What is the one goal that requires your relentless focus? Practice the art of elimination. Say no to the noise so you can say yes to your truth. Understand that discipline is not a cage, it is the key to your freedom. Take a deep breath. Look at the challenges in your life not as burdens, but as raw material for your greatness. You are not a leaf in the wind. You are the scientist in the shed. You have the power to stay, to stir, and to find the glow within the darkness. Be obsessed with your growth. Be relentless in your focus. Find the silence in your laboratory, whatever that may be. Like Marie, let your life be a testament to what a human soul can achieve when it refuses to look away. Stand tall in your purpose and let your focus be your light.